Hello, virtuous women. Welcome to Tuesday Talks. My name is Sherry Licorice. I'm a ministry leader at Hungry for God Church under the leadership of Apostle Vernell Samuel and Prophetess Shanique Samuel. And I have something I want to share with you that God has been showing me about my season. And I think that it's going to be relevant for your season as well. So lately, I have been in a season of transition, elevation, acceleration, and advancement. And if I'm going to be really honest with you, it hasn't felt so great. What started off as smooth sailing and what I thought was going to be smooth sailing actually hit turbulence, pressure, and shaking. And I thought to myself, how can this be elevation? Surely this is spiritual warfare. Until the Holy Spirit began to show me that some of the things that I was experiencing were induced by God. Why? Because he's calling me and he's calling many of us up higher. And the truth of the matter is that at the altitude that he wants us to function, there are some things that can't survive it. Some of our attitudes, our habits, our routines, our practices, our relationships and comfort zones, they've got to go. But God is not doing this because he wants to punish us. He's doing this because he is preparing us for something great. We are at a turning point, and God is forming us and shaping us into the women that we need to be in order to sustain the weight of the next assignment. And this reminded me of the story of Queen Esther. At the beginning of her journey, Queen Esther was queen in title and position, but not in function, until a member of her village, Mordecai, began to challenge her to step into that position of authority, essentially saying to her, you have been called to this place for such a time as this. But in order for her to rise in that divine role, she had to arise in her awareness of her divine identity. And in order to do that, she needed three things. And I believe that these things are relevant for us as well. First, she needed consecration. Esther fasted and prayed, not just for favor with the king, but also for clarity and courage. And similarly, we are going to have to hold sacred space for God, so that we can quiet ourselves in his presence, silence the noise, resist the distractions, and lean into his voice so we can hear his strategies for this season. The second thing that she needed was community support. While Esther fasted and prayed, she did not do this alone. She gathered the girls, she gathered the guys, and they came together and they fasted and prayed with her. And similarly, we are going to have godly brothers and sisters in our lives who can see us, stand with us, and speak life into us, especially when we forget who we are or can't even recognize who we are. Thirdly, we are going to need, as Esther did, the empowerment of the Holy Spirit. That boldness that Esther walked into the throne room with could have only come from the Holy Spirit, especially when she remembered what happened to her predecessor when she defied the king's command. And that same spirit lives on the inside of us, ready, willing, and able to equip us, empower us, and give us the strategy, divine wisdom, and insight that we need for our next steps. Listen, the long and short of this story is that we cannot wait until the next season comes to become the woman that next season needs. We have to become her now. And so with that in mind, I am praying for us because I am included in this. And here are the things that I'm praying for us. I am first praying that the Lord is going to give us divine discernment so that we can accurately recognize our season and not mislabel it as something that is faulty and failure when really it is God putting us in formation. I am praying that God would send the divine community that we need to surround us, to equip us, encourage us, and to activate us as necessary, and that we won't miss the community when it comes. I am also praying that we would not shrink back in fear from God's process because it doesn't look like, sound like, or feel like what we want or think it should, but that we would rather lean in knowing that God is shaping us for his glory. And then lastly, I am praying that we would be still enough to hear the voice of God and reverent enough to obey his instructions. Listen, ladies, God is not just shifting us. This is a divine setup. And so I pray that this insight, this revelation that I've shared helps us to have holy perspective about what some of us may be experiencing for this season. Listen, I want to encourage you to know that God has got us. There have been challenges, right? But those challenges won't last always. Perspective matters. And I pray that knowing that you are a woman called for such a time as this would help you to navigate the season that you're in. God bless you.